I know it's been so long since you've seen Dan and Brand. We've been doing our things, living our lives and doing the plans. And some things don't go according to plans, but it's okay, 'cause that's the way life is, and that's the way life goes. And we are here and we're singing you a song. It's not the best song, but you can sing along if you watch our podcast and listen to this over and over and again and again. It's the
Danny and Brandi Show.
Ooh, Danny and Brandi Show. We're coming in from Denver, Colorado, to bring you the Danny and Brandi Show.
I've got some things happened since we last talked. Today we're gonna catch up and hear how summer has been for both me and you and everything in between.
That's all good and that's alright. We've got a lot of things to talk about, and that should be nice. You probably wonder where we've been for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 months? 2 months. We've been on adventures, we've been all over the world. Well, at least I have. How about you, Brando?
Well, my mother, she passed away. Oh.
That's some sad good news, but that's
not really.
Okay.
'Cause the good news.
What's the good news?
Well,
I'm waiting.
the good news is my mom's at peace. She's no longer in any pain. That's such a relief to know, 'cause boy, those days were bad. But she always had a smile on her face, so much joy around, even finding light in the darkness, when even I was like, oh my goodness, mommy, you are brave, you are full of courage. I hope I get that from you, because I think if I do, I'll always know to keep on going when I need to go, and know that it's okay to slow when you gotta slow and be still.
Well, Brandi, I must say, I think you've already got that light in your step, and you know you do, the way you light a room up. She lives on within the Brandi. Yeah. Jamona! I don't know why I included a Jamon in there.
Because you can always throw a Jamon in there.
I stopped referencing MJ after that documentary that I saw.
Oh, yeah, I don't...
Jamon, children, Jamon.
No, stop. Not going there. Let's bring it back to our new song, where we catch up on the past 2 months.
Danny and Brandi Show, we've come here to tell you we haven't fallen to a giant crevasse. We're still here playing our instruments. Actually, this is the first time you've ever heard both of us play our instruments at the same time. That one time that we made fun of that movie, Yeah, I was playing guitar then. But now we are playing a song we are writing right now. Hey, stranger.
Hey, guys.
Didn't see you sitting over there. This room.
Welcome to the Danny and Brandi Show. It has been at least 2 months since our last podcast, and summer is happening and life is happening, and I'm just excited to catch up on where you've been and how life has been, and just share what's going on in the
Me
past
too.
2 months. We'll call this the summer. Bring it. What do you call it? Like the summer adapt something.
Summer lovin'.
Danny's a really amazing musician, by the way, and
Oh no,
I might
I'm just
sound
skit-scatting.
I might sound very elementary compared to him, but he is the type of person who me just playing along with teaches me to get better. So it's great. Thank you for
No.
letting me be free to
Oh, I think you're doing
fiddle
your.
around.
I think you're rockling around along there on your own, fiddling around. That's a ukulele. Ukuleleing around.
Ukulele around. Yeah, right. It's not fiddling around. That's funny. That's one of those. Where'd that come from?
It's like Kleenex, right?
What? Fiddler?
No, if I was to tell you I wanted that, I think we talked about this. If I wanted that tissue, and I said Kleenex.
Right. That's an actual brand. But to fiddle around with something,
I guess.
that's not a brand.
Yeah, it's not a brand. It'd be like, what's another word that you use to
Dilly-dally
describe?
around.
Yeah, who's dilly?
I don't
Who's
know.
dally?
But I dilly-dally around. I love
Did they
dilly-dally.
get anything done? Was it just like, Dilly, come on, man. You
Okay, no, but here.
you gotta
check this
stop
out first.
twiddling your thumbs. And Dally, get off the couch. This is crazy. I mean, you guys, Dilly, Dally.
Do you use either fiddling around or dilly-dallying? Because I use both of those, but dilly-dallying definitely more.
No, but I'm gonna start using it, and I'm gonna find who these people are, Dilly and Dally,
Dilly-dally around. Dilly-dally.
and see what they've been doing with their lives.
Okay, I'm gonna research the dilly-dally one. I'll research both of them for my homework.
So, Brandy,
Yes, Danny.
hold on.
Is it time for the instruments to come off for now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, we do. But I really like that. I liked that in song, Danny. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was good in song. She said, "I really like that in song." For all you viewers and listeners that couldn't hear what she said because she stepped away from the mic. That's a cool little summer dress you got on.
I got this at a First Friday on Santa Fe, and this woman had a fun little used boutique, and she loaded up a bag and gifted this to me.
I think you need to speak into the mic when you talk.
I bet they heard me. I'm not telling it again. If you didn't hear me, you missed out.
Santa Fe. Nyang, 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 nyang. Speaking of Santa Fe, I went to Santa Fe.
Oh.
When last time.
A month ago?
Sometime. I think it was in June.
Okay.
And I went to Meow Wolf
How was
with a
it?
little lady. It was amazing. Have you ever been?
I've never been, and I don't really know even what to expect. When I see it on people's Instagrams, I imagine it to be like a fun house.
Yeah. It's like an interdimensional fun house.
Cool.
Just imagine walking through an old farmhouse, and then all of the sudden, I feel like I'm doing ASMR.
What?
All of this ASMR?
What's ASMR?
Oh man, we got to do a whole episode on this too.
What is it?
We'll look it up later and we'll
Okay.
save it because we got a lot to cover.
Okay.
Anywho, imagine walking through a farmhouse from the mid-century, and all of the sudden,
Is it all of a sudden or all of the sudden?
oh, in this case, it's all of the sudden.
Okay.
You open up the refrigerator and you walk in to the refrigerator.
What?
And you enter another dimension. That's right. Another dimension.
Do you really feel like you're on another dimension, or you're like, because for me it just sounds like visiting a haunted house.
Oh. No, this is way better.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny you mentioned that because, yeah, this thing's really cool.
Cool.
And I loved going to it. And they're building a $50 million facility in Denver.
Say what?
Yeah, south of Mile High Stadium. There's like an intersection between where the highways are, and it's planted right
Wow, cool.
there. And there you can see them building it when you drive by. $50 million. It's probably going to be an amazing interactive art installation with like crazy storylines.
Cool.
And they're going to have music venues and restaurants or something. It's going to be amazing. But I highly recommend going to Meow Wolf in Santa Fe. They're also opening up one in Las Vegas, and the theme is Area 51, which I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news. Do you know about this raid on Area 51?
I saw an article on the internet that said a dyslexic man goes to Area 15.
51? I see what they did there.
And I don't know if that was a real article or if it was from The Onion, but it made me crack up. But anyway, go on. Area 51, Las Vegas.
There's a Facebook group, and I think 1.7 million people have joined, saying that they're going to participate in raiding Area 51.
Wow.
And actually, I think this is unraveling right now. Storming Area 51 started as a joke, but it's a mystery as to how many will show up. So it's going to happen. When is this going to happen? It'll all happen on September 20th. I think this guy started out doing it as a joke on Facebook. He was like, yeah, let's raid Area 51. Like, we demand to know if there's aliens. And I just got to read this. I got to read the actual post because there's some pretty funny elements of it.
Okay.
You know, he's talking about how they can't stop us all. And like, if we Naruto run, is that what it's called? Naruto run, which is, I think, something that they do in like Japanese, what are those anime? They like run with their arms back. He's saying, if we Naruto run, we can run faster than their bullets. They can't stop us all.
Wow.
And it started as a joke, but now they really think that, like, you know, 1.7 million people have liked it, and another 1.3 have are interested in going. And so they think that, you know, some number of people are going to show up to this Area 51 raid. And like the government's like, no, do not come. This is it's blocked off for a reason. We test like weapons and everything. They're obviously not going to say, oh yeah, because there's like alien secrets. But yeah, that's going to happen September 20th.
Do you know what I kind of hope that really happens, that there's like 1 million people that raid Area running? 51. Yes, that would be so cool. And then actually that a whole bunch of secrets are exposed that become reality, and like the world is about ready to shift into a whole other thing.
What do you think they're going to find?
I don't know what they're going to find, but well, honestly, biblically, I'm thinking about Bible prophecy, and I'm thinking like, wow, that would be really interesting to see things play out.
So you think
with
there's going to be
like in our world?
You think there's going to be like a second coming of Christ and a revelation, and the whole world is going to go to fire and brimstone?
Yeah.
Well, believe what you will, Brandi. Maybe you should join them. I think you should Naruto run yourself over there.
I don't need to.
Dodge bullets.
Are
you saying I can dodge bullets?
That's interesting. Yeah. I'm excited for September 20th.
Oh, God.
I am. I really hope something awesome happens.
Well, okay, what do you think's gonna? Yeah, just tell me what awesome thing could happen from 2 million. Let's just say there's 50,000 people that actually show up. What do you think?
That's a lot of people to show up.
Possibly happen by these people Naruto running towards Area 51, storming it to find out what secrets are held there.
I would say it's not really about what the secrets are that are held there. I would say it would be about a whole bunch of people all over the board, maybe in Cookieville, maybe like total skeptics, maybe just all over, and they're coming together to be like united in this overturning Area 51. And then what's that going to look like with how the government provides protection? Just what's that going to look like? What's that going to look like when they all come together? That's pretty cool.
All right. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Tuned.
September 20th. Maybe we'll be covering it live.
Yeah.
We'll see if we have that kind of technology.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Anyway.
So you went to
Meow
Santa
Wolf.
Fe. I got this dress on Santa Fe.
Yeah. Different Santa Fe's, but the same spelling.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about, but I want to hear all about your journey this past couple months. Unless you don't want to talk about it.
No, I would love to talk about it. So for you listeners who maybe don't know, I don't really know if I shared a lot of my mom's sickness in our podcasts.
I think there was some mention of it.
But my mom was diagnosed with leiomyosarcoma, a rare sarcoma, soft-celled tissue cancer in 2012. And over the course of years, she's had several surgeries. And then a year ago, it was time for her to start chemo. And there was just no more surgeries they could do. This was kind of like, all right, we got to do the chemo. So just like 5 months before that, my mom and my aunt were taking care of my grandmother as my grandmother was getting ready to pass. And my aunt and my mom said, Brandi, pay attention to what we're doing with grandma because you may be taking care of me. And that was
sobering.
just like, it was just like, oh my gosh, like I need to put my big girl pants on. So that the 5 months later when mom had to start chemo, I was like, I'm going to face my fears and I'm going to be there every step of the way for my mom. So I was at all of my mom's, again, surgeries, her chemos and treatments, and at the hospital all the time. And, we really started to have a relationship with the people that work at the hospital. So it had become part of my life to be there. And I really feel like you can bring joy wherever you go. So yeah, we're going for treatment, but my mom and I found all the ways to be joyful in those treatments. So I'd bring my ukulele and I'd bring magic tricks. And my mom, there was a time where she just couldn't walk without a walker. So she has her walker and she's backing up into the chemo seat and she's like, beep, beep, beep. These are my backup lights. And she's just like, we just learned, or maybe it wasn't even learned, but we had joy in some really dark places. Anyway, to make a long story short, it was June 6th that my mom went into the hospital to get hydration. And she went into the hospital and a few days later fell into an unresponsive state, aka a coma, which I just never wanted to actually call it that. So then I realized that's what it was a coma. But she fell into an unresponsive state and her organs began to shut down. And the last night that she was with us here on Earth, my brother and my dad and I just put the speaker on and put all my mom's favorite songs on, and we were singing and dancing around her bed and just laughing and having memories and praying over my mom and just being together. And my brother and I went home and my dad stayed at the hospital with mom. And when he woke up, the nurse had rolled my mom to face the window and watch the sunrise. And so my dad wakes up and mom's facing the sunrise. And my dad was there for her last breath, which was this past June 27th. And it's just been a wild ride that is flying by. It's already been almost 2 months since she passed, and feels like it was yesterday in a lot of ways, but it's just been wild. I've never gone through this type of grief. I've lost grandparents, I've lost friends that I hadn't seen in a long time, but we had a pretty special relationship, and my mom, when she was 19, had a hysterectomy, so she was not able to have kids, which thank goodness, because she adopted me. She adopted my brother from Vietnam.
Goodness, that hysterectomy.
Right? Like, the things that could be bad are used for good. And so my mom adopted my brother, found in a shoebox at the end of the Vietnamese War. And then I came along from Manila, Philippines in 2000. 2000.
Wow.
Wow. 1976. Yeah. Anyway, so she's just a really special lady. And my mom, when she first got me, up until I went to school, would only play her classical guitar and sing to me. So I was like 5 years old going, what would you do with the drunken sailor? What would you do with the drunken sailor? What would you do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? Because my mom was just, and she was really good at doing the strumming chords. So I would really like to get good at that and honor my mom that way. But yeah, so that's that leads up to this happening after our last podcast. So it's been quite an emotional and quite a journey.
Yeah. No, that's
Do you have any
unfathomable.
specific questions about that journey?
Yeah, I mean, just what would you say to somebody else who's going through that similar thing with a parent or a loved one or a spouse or whatever? Like, what, through your experience, and it's so interesting because I feel like people don't talk about this stuff very often, and I think it's amazing that you can talk about it in front of our audience.
Yes.
But yeah, what would you say is like, what would you
are the takeaways?
What advice would you give somebody that's going through this tough thing?
My advice for this, and it might not even be preparing for somebody to die, but just in life, is to forgive each other. Like, don't have any resentment, and just what that can do is just allow for full 100% unconditional love. And right there, that just deepens the love and the closeness, and it makes you just skim out of all the crap, all the things that don't even matter, and just get right to it, which is loving each other through each other's brokenness. So forgiving, to open up like this deep love. For those of you guys who still have your parents, call them on a regular basis. If you've been estranged, get to know them now. Like, it's okay to be estranged. It doesn't mean it's the end of your story. So just get in touch with the people who have raised you, or the people that are close to you. Don't be afraid to be in front of and experiencing death. And that was my biggest fear. I did not want to watch my mother die. So again, what I learned from that is watching my mother die, but doing it in a lens that was full of light, and understanding how beautiful and magnificent her life is and her love, and that she will be with me forever. To know that, you can kind of look at death and then have a different perspective of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, we were singing songs about this, but I really do feel like I never knew your mother, just through what you've told me. But I think it's very, very apparent that you have taken that like energy and that spirit that she lived with, and like even her positivity, like, oh yeah, like hysterectomy is the silver lining on the clouds. Is like, now you have this wonderful new person in your life. And there's some people that will like always be the victim and always like have something bring them down. But it's really like remarkable when you meet somebody that just always finds a way to have a positive spin on something and see the like the positivity out of it. Yeah. And I think that you embody that.
Thank you, Danny.
So
thank you.
She did something right.
Yes.
But that's hard. I can't even imagine. I'm so lucky I have both my parents.
Yes.
And yeah, I can't imagine losing either of them.
Yeah.
But I think we all know, like, it's going to happen.
Yep.
And, I mean, if we don't die first,
Yeah.
you never know. And I think we talked about that in our last episode.
Yeah, just loss. But what I do have is a kick-ass, 100% badass dad.
I thought you were going to say van.
And van. I do have a pretty kick-ass van that I inherited from my mother. No, but my dad and my brother and I, we are so close, and we still have each other. And it's like my mom's passing opened up a new chapter for us. Like, here we get to move on in life and maybe change the traditions of our regular holidays and what we did, and use it as a new time for us to be who we are now, not be who we are as like back then. Like, we are in a new chapter of life, and there's a new freedom in that. And it's not like moving forward without mom, but it's moving forward in honor of and celebration of her, but in our ways honoring who we are. So that's kind of
really
exciting.
Yeah, that's a really cool way of putting it. It's like, well, we better be close, and we better be better with each other, and not let like old things, and we better forgive each other and have an amazing relationship in honor of mom, because she was an amazing person, and that's what she'd want, and she's looking down on us. We better not screw it up.
Yeah,
that's
my dad's been just saying a lot lately, just let it go. And like, it's so easy to let these little things irritate us, these things that can't control us, an annoyance from somebody, an irritatingness, a blah, blah, blah. And my dad, his theme right now is just let it go. Mom is just telling me to let it go. And to see my dad evolve in this time since my mom has died has been really beautiful to see, because they were married for 51 years and they truly exuded what love and marriage is. And so for me to grow up and see that and experience that was just beautiful. But that's a big loss for my dad. So I actually live back home in the house I grew up in, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. And I've got my mom's master suite. I've got so much wonderful, beautiful space that's just full of sunshine. And I'm starting to feel ready to kind of make the transition to make it a little bit mine and hers too. But it's been fun to reconnect with my neighbors. A lot of the neighbors are...
Where do they live again?
Southeast Aurora,
okay.
Smoky Hill Road area.
Old Smoky Road, huh?
Smoky Hill and Road. But
now your stalkers are going to be stalking you.
Oh, edit that part out, please.
It's at the corner of Aurora and Southwest Side. Address, and here's my social security number while I'm at it. I can be found here these days. Just broadcast that out.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, jeepers creepers almighty.
Yeah.
Okay. That's some heavy stuff.
That's some heavy stuff.
But I appreciate you talking about it, and I'm sure it's not the last time.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me share.
Yeah. What are like the best traits that you feel like you carry on from your mom?
My individuality and confidence in being who I am. My mom was just a very free person, and you can see it in the way she acted at parties, and wherever she was, she just lit up the room. So she and my dad both really gave me the confidence to be okay to be different. And that's really allowed me to be free.
Nice.
What about you? What are some traits of your mom that she still has, or that she had, or that she is becoming, that you feel like you really exude?
Our love of Diet Coke.
Please note, this is not sponsored by Diet Coke.
No, this is not. And we're drinking LaCroix
and
Soleil, competitors, all in one show.
Huh.
We're not getting paid for this, but if you guys want to give us money. No. My mom has an amazing book smart side, like just education. She was a nurse practitioner at a time when nurse practitioners were just becoming a thing, so it was really difficult because they wanted to show that they could do just as much as doctors.
And where was she born?
It was a crazy story. She was born in Africa, in the Cameroon, because her father was a missionary in the Cameroon. And so she was born there, jungles, Cameroon's like west bend of Africa, next to the Congo. So she's got some amazing, crazy stories from Africa. But I think when she was 13 or so, they moved back to the United States, Portland, Boulder. And then, she went to nursing school right here in Denver, Colorado.
Oh.
Where she met my dad when he was in med school.
Did she go to the UC Health? Where'd she go to school?
She was at CU in Boulder, but for like 2 years, and then she did like the 2-year program, I think, at CU Health Denver.
Okay, cool. That's a great hospital. That's where my mom has been going, and so it's a learning hospital. So the campus is on there, and I'm sorry to turn this back to my mom again. Mom, no, I'm just kidding.
The Danny and Brandi and Brandi's mom show.
Yes, for this one, yes, ding, Vicky. But my mom's everybody from her oncologist to the nurses to the X-ray technicians. They were so awesome. So I really became a lot more aware of our care system and nurses and the education. And so I think that's awesome that your mom went to UC Health for her second part of her stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's accurate. It was CU in Denver, but they're med school.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
That's it. That's
okay.
the right one.
Okay, so she's got the science, the education side, but then she has this amazing artistic side. And she did ceramic art, paints, and so she's been able to find a way of doing both things throughout her lifetime. And that is something that I value myself.
Yeah.
I value the arts. I love playing music. She also played guitar when she was in college. Very musical, but understands and appreciates education and the system of education. So I feel like that's what I strive to do, and I'm kind of like a Renaissance Dan.
You definitely, from what I've known about you since just the past few months, like you have and even your personality, you have definitely an analytical, definitely a creative, fun, crazy side. But like you talking about what you studied in school, and like you've got you're kind of a nerd, and really a molecular nerd. You're a molecular nerd. I thought you were going to say
narcissist.
No, a nerd.
You're kind of a narcissist.
You are kind of but you're kind of a nerd, and that's really cool to see the nerd and the creative come together. And I think we all are nerds under it, but you've got like that scientific mathematical nerdy, and that's really cool.
And I love, like, what I strive for is where like functionality and design meet, or like functionality and art come together and create something that's both beautiful and utilitarian.
Yeah.
And
you do that in your work. Like you're doing that like in the coffee world. Like you've taken your studies of and knowledge of molecular science, and then have helped to like create coffee. Like it's kind of a...
Oh, speaking of which, a little update.
Yes.
We there's been a bunch of news articles, but we got a nice sized round of funding from some angel investors.
Awesome.
And so we have this brand new office.
What? Come on.
We have a brand new office in like Pike Place Market of all places, pretty much across the street, down a little bit from the original Starbucks.
What?
So we're like, you got the birth of coffee, of the cafe in the United States as we know it. well, get ready for molecular coffee.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So it's very exciting.
Congratulations.
I'm designing an espresso bar in our headquarters right now. And yeah, we are truly a bunch of nerds
That's so
that
awesome.
geek out on coffee, and we want to make it more sustainable, and we want to do some cool things. So
That's awesome. Can you
that's
tell us the name of the company?
Atomo.
Atomo.
We talked about this with the whole.
I know, but maybe we need to
Oh,
just
that's true.
update the...
Atomo Molecular Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ding.
check it out. Yeah, so things are doing pretty well in that arena, and I've been doing a lot of film stuff. I'm just turning this into an update.
Yeah, good. I love it.
Went out to a salt flat north of LA with my buddy Jason, who owns a company called British Customs in LA. They do aftermarket bolt-on parts to Triumph and Ducati motorcycles.
Wow, that's a great niche.
Yeah, so we took a couple of scrambler bikes up to the
Oh, cool.
salt flats called El Mirage, and I filmed a little short piece for him. So yeah, I'll play that. You can find that on my feed.
Awesome.
And
Did you get really dry at the salt flats?
oh my god,
Were
it
you
was
super thirsty and ashy?
We went like midday, and it was definitely about 100. It was in the high 90s in the desert, and we had dust, sand coated all over ourselves. I was hanging out the side of a van filming these two
awesome.
amazing motorcyclists, and
awesome.
yeah, and then after we filmed, I got on a bike myself and rode a little bit, and it was awesome.
In my mind, I see like the sun blaring and like the sky is almost blurry and gray, and you just barely see like these sand dunes, and then there you are. Is that what it looked like?
There was no sand dunes. I can just show you the quick 30-second little snippet here.
Yeah.
Um,
I gotta stand up.
stand up.
Stand up. Oh, here's my baker hat.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, the garden is going crazy. Look at this
Oh.
pity pad. What are those things called?
Pity pat.
Pity-
It's actually a chicken pot pie in the form of a
Squash.
squash.
I thought that was an acorn squash, but I was recently told that that's a patty pod squash. Beautiful tomato. Look how red that is.
Your garden?
Yeah, right out there.
Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome to take some
Oh, I would love that.
produce home.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So here's the 30-second version of the video that I made. No, I don't want BLC to play this. Come on, get out. Get out of here. All right, Zim Zim Zalabim.
Awesome. That was awesome.
Thanks. Yeah.
Did you make the music?
No, I just grabbed that track off of premiumbeat.com.
Well, that was really good. But the thing of it is like you also have talents to write jingles for things. Like you
I should work on
literally could do the whole. Anyway, that
if I
was
ever
really
need a
awesome.
self-esteem boost, I know the girl to find.
Oh, I'm just telling the truth.
I'm just telling the truth.
I'm just telling the truth. You're really talented.
Well, thank you, Brandi.
You're welcome, Danny.
Any updates that you want to tell our folks over here?
Any updates? I'm just navigating. I'm still single.
Yeah.
Still single.
No dates?
A date here and there. But this is a whole other podcast that we do not need to talk about right now. But it is a very different scene to be single and then want to meet a Christian man. Because you throw Jesus in and it changes everything. And so that's been, it's a very new experience for me to be like, I want to be equally yoked.
Right. You gotta deal with that whole.
Yeah, I want somebody who's on fire for God, because I am.
You just want somebody that's yoked, don't you?
This
Jason
is sponsored
Momoa.
by Bradley Allen Apparel.
Oh, yeah.
So we design dress shirts for bodybuilders.
You shouldn't have any issues finding a yoked
I don't like that
guy.
kind of yoked.
And they want you to be yoked, right?
I
so
don't know.
you're going to have to get freaking ripped, Brandy. Get to the gym.
That's the love update. Give me a love date.
I'm dating an amazing girl. And we're having a great time traveling around. Went to Meow Wolf together.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's going great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was friends with Danny when he met her. So kind of her. So I have kind of like from the outskirts gotten to bear witness to this dating relationship.
Slow down. I bear witness here today.
I bet, but it is like you're bearing witness to something happening.
What does bear witness even mean?
Like to bear witness when you like to right now I am bearing witness to you creating this podcast.
I know, but why bear?
Look it up. Just type in bear witness.
I swear, this is just turning into an etymology.
I think that it's great
podcast.
to understand words.
I bear witness.
I didn't even realize it was like a weird thing I was saying.
No, I've heard it. I just want to know. Oh, wait a minute. Bear. I thought it was bear, like B-A-R-E.
Oh.
But hold on. Is it bear like grizzly bear?
I think it's spelled B-E-A-R to bear witness.
Bear. Witness. Why on earth? Bear witness, B-E-A-R, like the animal, to show that something exists or is true. Where does it come from?
And where did I get it? I think if anything, I got it from studying the word. Because I haven't been watching court shows.
Okay, we're looking up the etymology.
Okay. I'm going to say that to bear witness came to be in... Ooh, I'm going to go actually in the Roman times as the court system started to change and Catholicism started to come into play.
Yeah, and my explanation would be back in the late or early 1800s, the trapper hunter days.
Oh.
When a hunter would go out and kill a bear and bring it back, he would flaunt his bear around and say, "Oh, I killed this bear. Look at me."
Look at me.
And the village would question him, "Oh, did you really kill it? Or did you find a dead bear and then, sling an arrow into it, hit it with a musket?" And so then it was always tradition to have somebody go on the hunt with you to bear witness that you had in fact killed the bear yourself.
Huh? And the answer is
okay, so they say bear testimony.
Oh.
Witness, bear.
Oh, now I just saw a bear on the court stand giving his testimony at church, giving
Bear
his testimony.
Put your right hand on the Bible, right paw on the Bible. I actually didn't find it. I just got so into my explanation of it that this is all I want people to know. Old English witness. This is just telling me witness. It's not telling me where does bear witness come from.
Did you say where does bear witness come from? And it's like, did you mean Bear Grylls? I love Bear Grylls, by the way.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff. Meaning.
So it's 84 degrees out, and for those of you guys who have seen our podcast, it's been 8 degrees out. Do you remember that 8-degree day? A 16-degree day.
That was like when we first started this podcast, huh?
It's very cold. It's 84 degrees right now.
Okay, well, bear as a noun means a strong, large mammal with thick fur that lives, especially in colder parts of the world.
Okay. That lives.
A black grizzly polar bear.
Or koala.
However, there is a verb version of bear, and that can mean to carry or bring something. Bear arms. And there's another verb to mean support, to hold or support something. So I'm going to guess, I'm going to put it out there, that our bear witness is the
hold or support something.
hold or support. Yeah. Or grizzly bear. I don't know. I'm still,
or grizzly bear.
Grizzly bear.
Making sure
Bear
that,
witness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like my explanation way better.
It got a little complicated.
I'm the bear witness. I saw that he shot the bear. I bear witnessed that bear dead.
What about a boar witness and it's like an old boar? Oh, never mind.
A boar?
A boar, because you just said I bore witness.
Well, I bore.
Anyway,
guy.
this was a good catch up.
This is a great catch up.
Yeah, this was awesome. And I really do like the study of where words come from. So I like how those came up today.
This may just be our etymology podcast.
Yeah.
Anywho.
I think we should do one etymology every one.
Yeah, and actually, I do have a question before we end this podcast. Since I've seen you, is there a product or something? Yeah, like let's just say something you bought that you're just like totally obsessed with right now.
Ooh, that's a great one. Well, the minivan. So I was telling you guys that I inherited my mom's minivan and I turned it into an adventure mobile.
It is,
and
really
I'm
cool.
totally obsessed with it. I organize it daily. I change it around. And yesterday we had a huge rainstorm and I just hung out in the car for an hour. So that's my latest obsession. What's yours?
I initially was gonna say my Birkenstocks. I always thought they were so hippy dippy old person shoes.
They did shock me when I saw you in them.
Yeah, but they are so comfortable and they're easy to put on, and I hate wearing flip-flops because I just don't like the little thing between my toes. But these are comfy. And I got like some gray ones. They're a little different. They're not like brown leather.
Yeah.
But then I looked past your shoulder and I saw my beautiful new espresso grinder that I got like a month ago. This thing is amazing.
Can I try an espresso after this podcast?
Yeah, I'll have to warm it up. But
Okay.
yeah, you definitely can. This grinder is a Barazza Setti WI. 270 WI, which means that it has 270 different grind settings. Coarse settings and fine settings. 270 different.
That's a lot. Is that necessary?
Oh, it's necessary for good espresso. So it grinds directly into the portafilter, and then it's got a built-in scale. So if you're a geek like I am, you want to measure out how many like beans or the dry weight of your coffee before you put it into the espresso machine, because it's all science. And this thing, you literally dial in, I want 18.2 grams of coffee.
And you already just know that number.
Well, you fiddle faddle.
You dilly-dally
You dilly-dally with it. You fiddle around with it with a little fiddle. And you find out what your grind size is. You find out what your weight is. And then you find out what your extraction time is and your wet weight. And using all these different variables, you find the best tasting espresso. And once you do, you want to like lock it in. And as your beans age, you need to make some adjustments as well. Well, this thing has 270 different grind settings, and it automatically weighs how much coffee goes into your portafilter basket that goes into the espresso machine. It's a dream, and my
That's
espresso
awesome.
game has been on point right here at home. So, yeah, I've been obsessed with that. If you
Yeah,
haven't,
and that's definitely like an analytical brain side of things to do. Like, to me, that sounded like a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
And my brain couldn't even process that. And I like that your brain goes there.
and it's called the Barazza Sette, which means 7 in Italiano.
Italiano.
And it is the physical shape of a 7.
What?
I mean, come on. That's beautiful. Talk about
Excuse
design,
me?
form, and function. So,
Okay.
on that note, maybe we should play it out.
Yeah. Play out the scenario. By the way, I have shorts on under this. One thing about like wearing short things and then dancing a lot is always have shorts on, because then you always have freedom to dance.
Without blasting the...
The world, your undies.
Yeah, MeUndies.
MeUndies.
This podcast is not sponsored by MeUndies.
MeUndies.
They're always after MeUndies. I'm John Lennon.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, it's been a hoot and holler to talk to you today. Got my friend Brandi and Danny singing a song in an accent that is in mine. But it's okay, 'cause a lot to sing in many different accents, including British and
Je parle en français pour toi.
she likes to sing in French, is what she's saying.
Écoutez-moi, écoutez-moi. Je suis Brandine Dubois. Écoutez-moi, écoutez-moi.
Thank you for listening to our show. It's time to go. It's time to know that y'all's gonna have a good time with Dan and Brandi on the Dan and Brandi Show. You got to go singing away, and you know you always got 2 friends on Apple Podcasts and YouTube and Google, whatever the Google one is.
And one called Podbean.
Pocket Cast.
Pocket Cast.
Put us in your pocket with Pocket Casts.
Put us in your pocket with Pocket Cast. The Danny and Brandi Show.
The Danny and Brandi Show, brought to you by the Space Brigade.